Thank you so much for the invitation to be here with you. It's really amazing to see all these projects, just mind-boggling, as we say. My mind exploded a bit with the numbers I was hearing. So lots have been covered. I don't know if you know about the format of the kind of these chats. We prepare questions, we ask them, but then you discover that many of the things we want to ask have already been discussed. So this is going to be a little bit different, so I'm just giving you a little bit of warning. We're going to discuss building information modeling, or BIM, okay? So each one of us will have their own idea about this topic. So I'm just going to introduce it in the sense that it's a language of digital transformation, okay? It's the gateway to everything related to digital transformation. So if we're going to discuss AI, digital twin, anything, we have to start with BIM. And BIM is not just about models, it's about information, it's about data. So from that perspective, we're going to have this quick chat. And I feel a bit overwhelmed here. We have two civil engineers. I'm not an engineer here. You always feel the pressure when you're in the presence of engineers. So we have, of course, Mr. Khadija. We have Mr. Khaled here. I'm going to ask each one of you to introduce yourselves. You're going to do it much better than me, so please we start with Khadija.
Khadija Alrubaie, Acting Executive Director for Governance and Planning in Abu Dhabi Project Center. In my current role in ADPIC, I lead in ensuring the optimal budgeting when it comes to capital projects. We ensure it's aligned with our strategic plans, and we ensure that it delivers the highest public value.
Yes. Khaled Awad. Yeah, I'm Khaled Awad, the chairman of Advanced Construction Technology Services, ACTS. I've been working in construction for quite a long time, been in Abu Dhabi since 1985 in the concrete business, and then went to the third-party inspection part. So I've been involved in BIM during the Masdar days when we were doing the microclimate of Masdar city to check urban heat island. And this was my first encounter with BIM, and this was really something like an eye-opener for what can BIM do. And I think the best thing is to start thinking about BIM with a different name. Instead of BIM, call it AIM, or Asset Information Management instead of building, because people think of building information management as a limited thing to buildings. It's now, as you just said, it's beyond buildings. And as you said, Dr. Bilal, it is the right transition between the physical world where we've been to the digital world where we're going. Without BIM, I think we don't have the engine or the platform to do that.
Absolutely. And what's important about this digital transformation, it's full of potential and full of problems. Okay, so we're going to discuss both today, and we're starting with the potential. And here you can see we have the public sector represented by Khadija. We have the private sector, in a sense, represented by Khaled. From your perspective, Khadija, the introduction of BIM or digital transformation within your organization, how do you see it? What do you see the potential of it? How it's happening at the moment? What kind of projects you guys are doing using these kinds of digital transformation processes?
Looking at the audience, I see different diversity. So I would start with introducing what is BIM. BIM is a digital process. It involves also creating a 3D model of a building or infrastructure. So from BIM, we have 100% accurate, coordinated construction drawings. We have quantities, we have cost, we have cash flow. We have also delivery timeline, we have schedules, programs, and that also includes basically data when it comes to recruitment and all that. So with BIM, we see so many potentials. We've used it in so many projects in ADPIC along our managing partner at DAR. We have 50 projects across housing, education, health, recreation. These projects are worth 64 billion. And we also have been seeing, let's say, other DMT or ADM use it for all utilities projects since 2021.
Interesting. And this is great. And actually, I'm just going to follow up on a point mentioned by, I think, Clemensis. Sorry, Clem, if I mentioned your name in the wrong way. It's about the uses, correct? It's not just about the technology or the process or the policy that stand, all these different uses. I'm going to follow up with you and ask you, how are you using it? What are you getting out of it?
I would say BIM is not just a design software. We have a transformation strategy, a digital transformation strategy, where as in ADPIC we envision using BIM to have a foresight for change requests, to anticipate these change requests, and also predict what's coming in these projects, not just wait for them to come in once, but also be fast or collaborative with the executors when it comes to budgeting these projects.
Yes, as we say, BIM is about modeling of information, about collaboration, about integration of systems, and you're starting to see this bearing fruit within your organization and across Abu Dhabi. How about you, Khaled? Can you give us a story about how you found BIM useful in your business?
Yeah, so I just want to challenge a little bit the audience. We've been hearing all the good things today. I want to talk about the bad stuff.
Go for it.
So, there were many reports about construction as an industry, how laggard it is, how slow in adopting technology it is. I think one of the reports mentioned that construction is just ahead of fishing in terms of adopting digitization. So the engine for all these visions that are, Abu Dhabi is, of course, at the forefront of looking at the future of infrastructure, but the engine today, the construction that we have, is not up to speed. One of the major challenges we have in construction is productivity. People talk about cost, budget. Most capital projects, 98%, according to latest statistics, of projects are not on budget, not on time. And one of the issues is productivity. Because construction is as an industry, is based on, thinking of control. Who's controlling the work? And we heard about dispute and litigation and all this, and construction is all of that is it's a crowded space. When you look at the issues that are facing construction and infrastructure and delivery, one of the issues is productivity, labor shortage, skills gap. All of this is not going to disappear. It's going to increase. Even with China did a leap in productivity. They reached 4% in productivity in the last 10 years, yearly, 4%. Against 0.4% in the US or 0.2% in the UK. Now they're stagnant. If with all what we're hearing, productivity is not increasing. So when you look at BIM, look at it from that angle. It's a tool for productivity. And if we can shift the thinking from cost and budget, which are important, to productivity as part of the project evaluation, I think we will consider BIM as an essential tool. And before I give you an example, because you were urging on this, is what should the government do to change this here? What should we do? Like we did in my business, we're in the testing business. So people said you have to get 17 or 25 certified if you're in the lab. You have to do 17 or 20 certification, ISO certification. This is ISO. If you're in the inspection, and I think for really making a change, we start by mandating ISO 19650. Which is the BIM standard. Once we do that, it's not about following standards and ensuring that all companies are following standards. It's not the issue. It's creating the ecosystem. Once you do that, you create a whole ecosystem of training, skill gap management, and things will follow. So I think there is a responsibility on the government today to really make this, a little bit with the stick, with this mandate of 19650 and productivity incentives on projects, not just cost and budget. And use productivity as a serious KPI. I gave you an example when we were talking about what we just faced. I was involved in a project in Jeddah recently for an airport terminal building that was built in 1975. We were mandated to check the structural condition of this building, and it was a nightmare. No drawings available. It was really difficult to really reach the columns, reach the foundation, understand what was going on. Whereas in Riyadh, a year ago, we did a condition assessment for a tower that was being sold by an insurance company to an insurance company. And the insurance company wanted to check that this is a structurally sound building. So it was new, it was less than 5 years old, and it had the BIM. It's used BIM across the construction life cycle. And that was a complete, eye-opener for us. We did the condition assessment in a much different way, much more accurate, gave the insurance buyer a much more comprehensive view of what is the structure, what is the life cycle, the service life of this building. So look at BIM as a tool for productivity, for digitization, for archiving, for record keeping, but also for making sure that the structure are going to live longer.
Sort of provide some clarity. Yes, gives you this ability to transparency, to see numbers, to see. Yeah. Khadija, based on what he just said, it's a job of the government to do stuff, and my understanding is the government has so much to do. So what do you think you should be doing?
I think I agree with what he said. We are using BIM even if it's not mandated. That's because we acknowledge how important using BIM is. And as part of the digital transformation in ADPIC, we have a plan to roll out mandating BIM in certain projects. And I agree with the challenge that we face in comes to human capital and the skill gap that we have. And also we're working with so many universities in Abu Dhabi and in the Emirates in general that to ensure that bachelor degrees includes what we essentially need in the field,
right,
basically. In addition to training with Abu Dhabi Department of Enablement to include training for project management and also all the tools that we need.
What about standardization? Have you ventured into the issue of mandating something like ISO 19650, which deals with these issues? Have you considered this or not yet?
It will be as part of because the ISO is specifically standards for the BIM. So it will be as part of the plan, the digitalization plan.
And if I follow up with other departments here in Abu Dhabi, how do you see things happening? Do you see your role as guiding them, working with people like you, champions? How do you see your role going forward with this digital transformation?
Because ADPIC is managing all government projects, so that includes all Abu Dhabi departments.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you're in a perfect position to encourage people to go in the right direction.
Of course, inshallah.
So Khadija is the person to ask. And I'm really happy to have here Khadija, and I see there's a movement called Women in BIM, if you heard of it. So great to have Khadija here with this leadership role.
Thank you. And I also encourage all females in this field to be empowered and to be in such positions.
Absolutely, absolutely. And by the way, just as a note, in Australia, where I live, I would say, I wouldn't have an accurate percentage, but 62.63% are women in the field of BIM. This just, I made up this statistic, it's not real, but most of the people that you see in leading a BIM role would be females, for sure. Okay, so following up on looking at a little bit one more problem. If you can identify one problem in the public sector and one problem in the private sector that need to be addressed jointly, what do you think that one would be, Khadija?
I think private sector brings so many things to the table. They bring efficiency, they bring speed, they bring quality.
Right.
So we are in a stage that we are looking for collaboration with the private sector because we envision that coming together will bring something better for Abu Dhabi.
Right. What do you think?
I think it's like any technology, resistance to change. This is going to face us anyway.
What do you mean by resistance to change?
I mean, people wouldn't adopt. I mean, I think in the UAE we're above 70% in BIM adoption with major projects.
Right.
In the world, it's less than 50%. Just keep this in mind. So we're less than 50% adopting BIM, even it's more than 15 years old or 20 years old.
Right.
So I think resistance to change is going to be the real obstacle. And I'm not saying about having a BIM for clash detection. Everybody will have BIM. Clash detection, identify where the mechanical and the plumbing and all this goes in, so we don't have the problems on site. A BIM model is as good as the actual product on site.
Right.
And this is where the role of companies like us, when we do inspection, to check that the as-built is like the BIM. Okay. And that gap between as-built and and model and digitization is something that need to be bridged. And this is where resistance to change comes in.
Right.
This is where, and I was talking to you about in Australia, I think there is a kind of collaborative platform where in projects, contractor, consultant, other stakeholders in the project sign a collaborative agreement where they wouldn't blame each other if something in BIM didn't work.
Yeah.
And they will work collaboratively. And I think that's another
That would be amazing if it works. I tell you what, a really important part, we still have 5 minutes, so we can drill down a little bit more. One important part of moving the industry forward in the right direction is having really clear information requirements, correct? Can I ask you, Khadija, have you considered documenting your information requirements clearly, making that available to others? Does it happen at the moment? If not, are you planning to do that soon?
As part of the plan, yes, to have guidelines and manuals to document what is required from each party when it comes to developers and contractors and consultants as well.
Beautiful, because once you have the information management, people can look at it and start to develop their competencies accordingly, correct? And from your side, do you see that happening here in Abu Dhabi? What do you see?
No, I think the BIM adoption is going up, and I think if you think of BIM, there are companies selling or developing sensors here, and you can now put sensors in the BIM and actually have the sensors give the model all the readings and have a preventive and predictive maintenance story. So I think BIM as a platform for digitalization is getting speed in Abu Dhabi, but the skill gap is still there, resistance to change, the kind of control psychology that is in the construction project, that everybody is looking at the other and say he will be responsible for the delay or the cost overrun or stuff like that. I think that shift to productivity thinking is going to take some time.
Let me put you both on the spot now. Maybe this, I've been doing this from the beginning, but I want to go a little bit deeper. If you want to improve performance, you have to measure it, correct? Are you measuring performance, digital performance within your organization? And if not, will you be considering it soon?
As part of the digital transformation strategy that we have, we will be placing KPIs and performance indicators to ensure success. Because in the end, we don't want just a digital tool. Right. We want to ensure it's serving the public, not just our public projects.
Right. Thank you for that.
I don't think we're there yet into measuring. I don't think the industry is there yet into measuring digitalization. Right. I don't think this is. I mean, we can talk about it, but we're not implementing.
It's very hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to get to the maturity to measure digital transformation, it means you've already done a lot of steps.
It's different perspectives. It's not about using it. It's about making sure you get the benefits of that.
Yes, but seeing all these experiences like we heard today is very promising. It's really amazing. Would you like to say any encouraging comment to others within Abu Dhabi public sector about digital transformation and BIM in particular?
I would say a lot of the efforts have been done over the 5 years. And we've seen the efforts across all government organizations, also in the private sector. So with the vision that we have forward, I'm sure we are we're heading in the right direction.
Absolutely, and with the right leadership, I'm sure we're going to achieve success. Any comments?
Yeah, I don't think BIM is an option anymore. I mean, we're beyond that.
We wouldn't be here.
No, I think it's not an option. It's something that you should have to just continue moving forward. So let's not discuss whether BIM is going to be used or not. Mandating is going to create an ecosystem, so that's just an accelerator. But BIM is beyond us, is how to get ready to make sure we get all the benefits of it, not just the clash detection or the basics that BIM was.
The low-hanging fruit, as we call them.
Absolutely.
Yes. Look, my apologies for all these tough questions because they're nothing similar to what we agreed on before we came in. So thank you so much for your input, really beneficial. Thank you.
Thank you.